Okay, hello. I think it's a good time to do a quick sound check. I think maybe it's a bit too loud. Tell me, please, if it's okay. And maybe I will just show you my synth and stop the music for the moment. So, hello. Okay, so it's lagging. Can you hear me? I will type that in the chat. My mic is telling me that it's sending sound, so it should be okay. So yeah, maybe I will just try here. Okay, I have sound in. Hello, yes, cool. So there might be some shift between the sound and the hi. There should be some shift between the sound and the video. It's a bit hard to figure out how to repair that. So we will do with that. Yeah, hi. Okay. So first of all, sorry for my accent, as I said in the presentation. I'm French, as you can hear, and I will probably struggle with accent, obviously, and with vocabulary, but I will do my best nonetheless. Also, you will not be able to see my face because I have... I'm saying you don't have lights, but I have lights, but I can't light the synth and my head at the same time, so it's a bit complicated. So it will be like that for the moment. Maybe one day I will show you my face, but you will for now just have my hands. So what's the plan for today? So as I explained in the introduction video, I have 3 modules. So I will get more into details, and the goal of this live, and there will be other lives, is to play with them, to discover what they are capable of, and just to share and to learn together how to use them. So I also can share my screen so we can read the documentation and so on. This live is not prepared because I didn't have the time today to prepare it because of work. So it will be quite simple. We will play some harps and with reverb, and we will try to do something a bit interesting. But it won't be. We won't go really far, I think. So, what are those 3 modules? So here we have Hermod from Squarp Instruments, which is a sequencer. It's a quite complex one. It has 8 voices, so 8 CV gates. We can do some interesting stuff with it. So we can play polyphonically, we can send velocities or modulation. But it will, if we use modulation for the first voice, it will use the other voice, so we will not be able to use them because it's only one cable. We also have 4 inputs, but I don't know what we can do with them yet. And we have some buttons here to program it. I think you will not be able to see the screen because my camera is not good enough, so I will try to explain what I'm going to do with it. And while I'm not a big fan of the workflow of this one, I mainly use because it has a USB host and a USB device, so I can use it as a slave for my computer, which is nice. And I can connect a keyboard here to play with the racks. That's what I'm going to do today. So let's connect it so I can use my USB. I'm still sharing you my screen. Okay. So I will connect my keyboard here, and so I can send a command so we can see that this LED is blinking. Maybe I will just create a new project. So I click here on sec, I touch the knob, project, new project, and that's it. I'm a bit lost with all my windows open, but don't hesitate to ask question if something is not clear. So here all the LEDs are orange, so that means that they can all sequence and send CV or volt per octave values. So that's for Hermod. It has a lot of interesting stuff that we are going to dive, but we have some menu diving to do, which can be tedious, and I here have the paper documentation, and I have the documentation here on the computer. So let's move on to the second module, which is Beehive from After Later Audio, which is a clone, a smaller version of Plaits from Mutable Instruments. It's exactly the same component, so it will sound the same. It's just a bit smaller. It's also the same firmware. So I just took this one because one, it's black, so it's the same color of my other modules, and because it's a bit smaller. And I think the knobs are still pretty usable. It's not the really small one, which is called Knit, which is really too small with really small knobs. So this one is a bit better. And I wanted to start this series of lives because of this module. And this series of live, of course, is inspired by the great Omri Cohen. I think I don't pronounce his name really well, but anyway. So this module is it's a digital sound source, and it has 16 different algorithms. So I can switch from different algorithms, and each LED, we have here 8 LEDs. Each LED has 2 colors, so 2 algorithms per LED. And what I was thinking was to do a theory of live, and each live we are going to use one LED, so 2 algorithms. So let's just put everything in the middle here. So this module is, I think, a bit more easy to use, but we'll try to make interesting sounds with it. There are some hidden features when we press the button and we turn the knob, but we'll discuss that a bit later. And then we have the last module here, which is Microcell from not written in here, from Grayscale, which is not exactly a clone, but an improved version of Clouds, also from Mutable Instruments. Clouds is not sold anymore, and I find that this version is more interesting, because in Clouds we have 3 functions that share the same knob: the reverb, the panning, the feedback and the mix, so it's 4, which share the same knob, which is a bit confusing for me. And here I have 4 knobs for these 4 functions, so the UI is a bit more readable. But the knobs are quite small here, so it's it's not perfect, but it's small. It has a lot of CV input. The other problem of clouds is that the CV input corresponding to these 4 functions here is sent to one or the other depending on. Well, it's a bit weird. So here it's a bit more straightforward. So I think it's a bit better. Obviously, I have the power supply and the output module, which converts the Eurorack voltage to voltage that can be used by my audio interface. So first of all, let's connect the output of volume is to 0, the output of Microcell to the input of my output module here. So let's connect that like that. Let's connect the output of Plaits Beehive into Microcell. So I already have sound here. And maybe let's just connect the CV here, which is by default the volt per octave, to the volt per octave here, so I can change the pitch. And let's connect the gate to the trigger input. And I think with that we should be able to play some sound. So when I press my keyboard, I have the LED here is blinking and the LED here are blinking. So if I turn this knob, I should have some sound. Tell me if it's too loud or not loud enough. I don't think I will be able to speak and play at the same time because I'm a really bad keyboard player, so I can't speak and play to the sound check, but I will maybe just check into my streaming software. Yeah, maybe it can be a bit louder. So that's the first algorithm here. Another thing that I didn't say is that Microcell here, which is the clouds clone, it also have other firmwares. It has 8 firmware total. So we will try other firmware. Today we will stay to the original firmware, which is the only one that I know how to use. So I will not put myself too much into difficulty today. So here we have the first algorithm, as I said. And maybe I will just use the ability of Hermod to play some harps, so I can just have some sound and play with the knobs, and then we will read the documentation to see what all these buttons do. For the moment, we'll just use Microcell as a reverb. So everything is at density is at the middle, so it's only acting as a reverb. So if I recall correctly, here I'm on the first track. I can press Effect. I can here go to, let's say, Harmonizer, which can play chords when I only play one note. So Harmo 1 is to 0, it's the root note. Then if I want a minor chord, it's +1, 2, 3. So I put it to 3. Then it's this one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7 semitones. And I don't know, maybe sevens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So obviously if I press here, I still have one note because I only have one wire to the Beehive, and Beehive is monophonic, but I can add another effect here, which is the arpeggiator, and if I do that, yeah, maybe it's a bit too fast. Yes, that's cool, and I can do so here it's random, and I think it's cool. Volume is okay here, cool. So maybe just record something, if I recall how to do that. Yeah, I think it's good enough for now. And so we have one knob which is for the frequency. We are not going to touch this one because it will just help us tune the module. And we have three other knobs here: harm, which is a harmony, morph, and timbre, which depends on the algorithm. So let's just try to move them. Whoa. That's not so nice. Oh. Okay, that's the octave, so it should be the detune. Yeah, let's put that to the middle for now, or maybe just like that. And let's move the morph. Okay, that's nice here. And the timbre. Oh. That's weird. Okay, so let's turn the volume a bit down so it's not too loud in my ears. I will put up later, and let's see what those knobs are actually doing, because I don't really know. So here I'm showing you the documentation of the web page of Plaits, and so we'll go to the manual, and so here it's not that interesting, this part. Okay, so the first LED here is a pair of classic waveforms, virtual analog synthesis of classic waveforms. So the harmonics knob is changing the detuning between the two waves. So yeah, if I move it, it's a detuning between the two waves. So here it's the octave. So let's keep it that way. Timbre variable square from now pulse to full square dynamic. So we might have a square wave, and it's the pulse width that we are changing here. Doesn't sound like a pulse sweep, but maybe my ear is not well trained. And with yes, I think here we only have the we are always to 0, so we don't have the square anymore. But here we still have it. Yeah, that's written here. A narrow pulse or wide notch result in silence. Use this trick if you want to silence one of the two oscillators to get a variable square of or variable saw. So here we have both square and saw. Here we only have square, saw, sorry. And here we should only have the square. Or maybe it's no, here we only have the square. Okay. So that's the first thing. I think we can do something interesting with that. I will just check the aux output because we have two outputs in Beehive, in Plaits. So let's try the other one. The other one is the sum of two hard-synced waveforms, the shape of which is controlled by morph and detuning by harmonics. Sum of two hard-synced waveforms, the shape of which is controlled. We don't really understand what that means. Let's just hear that. And let's show you that. Not bad. Maybe I have two outputs here, and here I have a stereo input. So let's try to connect the two outputs. Let's see what it does. Why not? It's not working. No, it's better that way. So, that's the first algorithm. I wanted to try also the second one. So the the green LEDs here indicates the melodic sounds, and the red is percussive sound. So we have a kick, a snare, and so on. And we have also other algorithms that I don't know for now. So let's try. Let's put the volume down. Let's stop this one. Let's maybe use another voice, so we don't have the harp. So track 2. So now what I'm playing is sent to track 2. So I just sent notes, and let's click this button here. So I'm in another mode. Let's just quickly check the documentation. It's granular cloud, a swarm of 8 enveloped sawtooth waves. Harmonics is amount of pitch randomization. Timbre is grain density. Morph is grain duration and overlap. When the setting is full clockwise, the grain merge into each other. I don't know what that means. The result is a stack of 8 randomly frequency modulated waveforms. Okay, so it's Okay, it's like in clouds, my grains. So I have 8 grains that plays at the same time or not at the same time, depending on this parameter. And aux is a variant with sine wave oscillator. So let's start with the so ones. So let's remove this one. So when I only have with that, it's better. If I only connect the left, the left is normal to the right, so I have the left which is fed to both. So it's not just the left here. If that makes sense. So I have sound when I press that, so it should be. Okay, that's not what I expected. Okay. I don't know if I will be able to do something with that. Amount of pitch randomization. So if I maybe we'll just remove the trigger so it's always triggered, and let's see. Okay. So timbre is grain density. And the other one is the same with sine waves. Ooh. No, I prefer the so. And that's cool. Maybe it's a good time to play with Microcell and to do some nasty stuff. So let's turn up the density and put that on the tab here. So let's just disconnect this one, and now I've captured this one. and we can connect the CV to volt per octave here. Oh! It does not work. Okay. Oh, that's nice as well. Okay, let's put back the first one. So this one here. We don't need the gate here, but we need the CV, and the CV is going to volt per octave. Here the output is going to the input here. We said that maybe stereo was cool. And then we need the gate here to trigger. And let's, okay. Ooh. That's not what I meant. That's not tuned. I don't remember how this one works. I think it's zoom. No, it's not zoom, it's length. Okay, let's record that, the same as next. Right. Nope. Okay. Okay, that should do. no, we will need to add some modulation, and the maybe just connect that to see. Okay, why not? So yeah, maybe add some modulation, and we can use all our unused outputs here to do LFOs or sample and hold, which is cool because we have a lot of parameters to move. So let's start with the first one. So let's select note here. Layout, one voice, modulation. Now it's blue because it's modulation. Let's go to effects and let's put an LFO, sine wave, sync off, rate, let's lower it. 12, why not? Phase 0, and oh. And now we can see that it's slowly going to from dark blue to light blue, so it's our sine wave. So let's connect that to maybe to the timbre. Many sounds we come across by chance, happy accident. Yeah, obviously. That's why I love Eurorack and synths in general. Okay, so we get some movement here. Okay, let's do the same for this one. So first let's configure it as LFO, sine wave, range 200%, rate 16, and let's connect that here. So we have two out of sync LFOs here, and let's continue. We still have 4 LFO possible and a lot of parameters that we can modulate here, so let's do that. So next one, track 5, if not effect, track. Starting to speak French, but hey, that's what I do basically. So layout, voice, modulation, and effects, LFO. Range maybe a bit less because I don't have built-in attenuators here. I have here, but not in Microcell. I see that it's saturating a bit, so we'll just lower the input. So output is okay. So let's continue. So maybe position is not moving so much. Maybe we'll just get some input. It's more abrasive here. Oh, there's something to be had here. So it's connected to position. Oh, it's too fast. If you move the coder too fast, it doesn't move, because it's hard to program coders. Some higher pitch when the position is moving, because we have a 1 second buffer of something which is moving. So when we parse, I don't know how to say, when we scan the buffer, we have different textures. Maybe I can also move the size. I'm not a big fan of moving the size. We will just move the shape here, and it's my last black wire. So track 6, layout, one voice, modulation, effects, LFO. Now how to do that? Right. Maybe something a bit faster, maybe. 18. Range 100% should be okay. And let's put that reset to shape. I know that the feedback does something when we are in hold mode, but I can't really remember what. And I don't really hear the difference. I don't really want to play with the density, because I think the grainy stuff that you hear is what I want it to be. The same goes from the size. If I change the size of the grains will not play the same with the same density. It will change the density if I change the size, so I don't want to change that. I don't want to modify the reverb, because I think it's good like that, maybe a bit more. And yeah, I think it's not bad for first one live. Yeah, my goal with this video was also to take 1 minute piece of music for Instagram, and I think it does the job. So yeah, I think I will just let it run a few moments and stop the live here. So let's just hear the music a bit. Yeah, thanks, Space Drifter. I think it will be better if I play a bit with the lights. So how can I do that? Yes, thanks for coming, Space Drifter. So I have a screen to say goodbye, but if I put the screen that say goodbye, you will not have the music anymore, and I don't think I want that, so I will just let it run for maybe 1 minute and cut the stream here. So thanks for coming, and see you next time. Bye.